Hello, friends. Ken here, as usual. And I know I missed last week entirely. I apologize. Happens to the best of us. And I'm certainly not one of those. But I'm here again to talk to you folks about, doing some stage combat drills because I miss you. And, I miss doing this stuff every week. So we're doing a little bit. Today we're going to do some basic drills again. But before we get started, I just wanted to remind you a couple of things. First off, you'll notice that I'm always wearing gloves. It's important to, when you're training, get used to wearing gloves, especially as you train with the things that you're going to be using, so that you can get used to the grip and protect your hands. Although it is sort of a misnomer that touching the weapons or the steel without gloves will ruin them. That's not quite true. Your hand oils won't hurt them that much, especially if you're cleaning them regularly, as you should be anyway. This is mostly for protection of you. So I try to wear gloves. Basically any gloves that are leather and tough will do. I like for options that are easily available. Welding gloves and roping gloves are both fine choices. These happen to be just leather, like driving glove style with some padding so that they're a little more protected. And you can buy gauntlets on the internet all over the place. I have a pair of red ones that you've seen before. This baldric is one of the ways that you can carry your sword. I happen to like a baldric because I can take it off easily, but you can also do various types of frogs. I've got one right here I think you should be able to see. This one was made by our friends at Goblin Works Leather. That's works with an X. But you can hold just about anything in a frog like that hangs from your belt. And there are lots of other options there. There are ring holders and all sorts of stuff that you can look for. Another thing I wanted to talk about as I get close is if you don't happen to have a sword yet, there are lots of things you can use to train. This is just a plain wooden dowel. It's about the right length. If you want, you can tape on one side so you know where your grip is, but that doesn't matter too much. And it will let you practice your proper form and stances. You can still do all of your blocks and as much as you need to with it. And it'll help you remember how to do what you're doing. Remember though, with something round like this, edge alignment keep sense of. So if I was going to use this to train, I might try to flatten it a little bit with a sander. If you have a belt sander, it goes a lot faster, or with a plane, carpenter's plane, either one, to give it a more flat approach. You can also use a yardstick for that. It'll be lighter and will be more likely to flex, and if you accidentally whack something, break, but it'll help you with the edge alignment problem. Of course, I prefer to use a walking stick if I'm going to train with that because, well, it just looks nicer, doesn't it? So when I practice with cane, I use my walking stick here, and it's got a nice added benefit of being a secondary weapon. Of course, you should never, ever carry this out in public. This is for novelty use only. But that's not what we're going to be using today. Today, we're going to practice with what I've got over here, which is, as per my usual, my rapier. Now, of course, this stuff will work with any one-handed sword. I will deal with two-handed at some point, I promise. But for right now, we're going to deal with one-handed. And we're just going to do some very basic stuff today because I feel like doing a little bit. And a lot of that is going to come down to footwork. Now, we've talked about footwork before. We've talked about the advance, talked about the retreat, we've talked about the passing step, and of course the retreating passing step. Those are the basics. There are various diagonals that you can take, but those are the basic 4 steps that you need. Now, if you want to practice getting the muscle memory on those, the way to do that is to find your proper stance here, and then just advance, retreat, advance, retreat, advance, retreat, advance, retreat, and you can do as many reps of that as you want to do. Remember, the trick with this is to try and keep your head as steady as you can. So, advance, 2, 4, 6, try it with passing step. Now, I don't know, because I can't see myself, how perfect my head bobbing, or lack thereof, was, but the idea there is you want to make sure your knees are bent, and that as you move, it's your legs that are moving, not you stepping like that. So that's some basic footwork drills that you can practice, and we can do those together. So pick up your sword or sword analog, cane, dowel, whatever else you've got on there. Hold it in your dominant hand. Be dominant leg front in your stance. Knees nice and bent, and advance, retreat, advance, retreat, passing step, retreat, passing step, retreat, passing step, retreat, advance, retreat, advance, retreat, advance, retreat, advance, retreat. So, as you can see, your thighs start to get tired. You can do all that, but your arms aren't doing very much. So, just for the sake of fun and or games, I'm going to draw my dagger here, which if I were a right-handed person and not a servant of the evil one, this would be my main gauche, which means left hand. But since I am all of the above, it's in my right hand because I am left-handed, unlike Inigo Montoya or the Man in Black, not Johnny Cash. So what we're going to do instead of leaving our arms as is we're going to advance and retreat with some movement here. So I'm going to make this up as I go along. Feel free to watch it back if you want to do what I do. The trick here is to be as precise as possible, not to be fast. So as I advance, I will make an attack. As I retreat, I will make a defense. So we're going to start with, I don't know, I've just blanked, but I'll come up with something. Here we go. So I've basically used 1, 2, 3, and 4 there instead of 5, and I didn't use my offhand dagger at all because I know not all of you have an offhand dagger. You can just use a smaller dowel for this if you want. However, there it is. That was a little better. You don't need this. I'm going to try and do some things with it. The trick with two-handed, of course, is that you really want to be doing things 2 at a time. So if I'm going to advance and attack, I might advance there and also defend here. I might retreat and defend here whilst also attacking there upon my retreat. So on and so forth. There's a lot of different ways to do this. I know a lot of folks don't like to defend with their offhand. They would rather defend with their main hand and use the offhand for attack. It all depends on the situation. Both are entirely valid and supported by the various literatures. This, by the way, I'm holding wrong because I have my finger over the guard. That's because we're doing stage combat, not actual combat, so I'm not as worried about it. I'm also ghost fighting. If I was actually doing this, of course, fingers behind the guard. My fingers here are well protected, although I am using the finger ring that's hidden underneath my guard, because it's protected, unless of course we stab, and then it's a lot less protected because I could stab in my fingers. Anyway, I'm just being silly now. I've been cooped up and I missed you guys. So let's do this together. We're going to advance and attack our opponent's 3. We're going to retreat and defend 1. We're going to advance and attack 2, and we're going to retreat and defend 4. We're then going to passing step, attack 3, passing step, retreat, defend 1, passing step, attack 2, passing step, retreat, defend 4. And you don't have to worry about this at all. I'm going to hold it because I feel like it helps with making sure my arms are doing something, but I'm going to do all of that with just the sword. All right? So, we're going to advance and attack 4. We're going to retreat and defend 1. We're going to advance and attack 2. We're going to retreat and defend 4. Did I say 4 first? I meant to say 3. Whatever. Sorry, guys. I may someday decide to edit these out so that I don't have those mistakes there, but for now, I love you, you love me. We don't have to worry about this. I hope you love me. I love you. Ooh, is that creepy? I don't know. Laugh with me, folks. We're having fun. All right, I'm going to do that same thing again, except this time I'm going to finish it. So, attack 3, defend 1. Attack 2, defend 4. Passing step 3, and complete. Passing step 1, and complete. Passing step 2, and complete. Passing step 4, and complete. All right. Passing step is trickier, especially with the head bob. Oh, it's a robin. All right, so let's do that again. All right. So, I hope all of that makes sense, and that it's going well for you. Let's try something else, huh? I don't know, what should we do? What should we do? How about... Shadowboxing is so hard with swords. So, we're gonna try... Oh man, there's a nice hawk. There's so much wildlife out. I hope you guys are getting outside a little bit and not trapping yourselves indoors. I've had people going by as I was setting this up, and you know, you sometimes have to explain yourself. So, let's say I was dueling, or at the very least writing a duel, and I intended to use both rapier and offhand dagger. I would keep both in front of me here, as is standard, although there are several other choices for stances that folks like. I'm a big fan of starting here because that is your best defense as a general rule. But there's a lot of different ways to do this. So, we start here. I have 2 weapons. I don't know what my opponent would have in this situation, but let's pretend that they are doing, say, the same thing. I might be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. All right, sorry. I keep getting distracted, guys, but I'm with you. I'm going to attack to 3 with an advance. So I would attack here to 3 with an advance, which he might very well block with his offhand dagger and attempt to attack me, which would mean I would have to retreat and defend at 1. Now, my next attack would probably be a passing step to 2, because I can do a pass here and a thrust to there, which allows me to come all the way forward because it's a passing step, forcing him to bring his dagger down to defend this strike. Now, of course, I have his sword blocked over here, and her dagger is blocking me over here. So, I think if I was next going to retreat to defend 2, I would do my passing step retreat because I want to gain some distance, but I would still use my dagger to defend this. So come back, and here, because I still control their sword there, assuming that that attack came from the dagger trying to push through. And so I've defended there, which allows me to control their sword upon completing the passing step here, stay inside it, and turn my final advance and thrust to 4 into the end of this exchange, where I come here and win, hopefully. So let's try that, just for fun. So, to review, as I've talked my way through this, we are going to be aggressive and advance to attack at 3. And then we're going to retreat and defend at 1. Then we are going to passing step, attack at 2, and complete. And then we are going to retreat and defend at 2. And then we are going to attack, advance to 4. I think I've done all that right. Or at least consistently. Let's try that together. On stance, we've got our sword or sword analog in our dominant hand, forward hand. We've got our off hand in ready here. We've got our knees bent, our legs straight. Remember, this is for footwork, so we're combining sword work and footwork here, as always, but you want to make sure that you're thinking about your head bob. So keep those knees bent as you start by being aggressive to 3. We're going to advance. Then we're going to retreat, defending our 1. Then we're going to passing step, advance to 3. And then we are going to passing step, retreat, defending here. And then we are going to advance to 4. Now, I think just for fun, we're going to turn that last advance into a lunge. If you've been following me, you'll know we covered lunges a couple of weeks ago. Right before that extremely intense 2-on-1 match that we covered. I hope that wasn't too strenuous for you guys. I know it was for me. So I think we're going to change that last one into a thrust. So, back into our stance, knees nice and bent, everything ready. We will advance, retreat, passing step, advance, passing step, retreat, and thrust to 4. So, as you can see, and you remember from thrusting, my leg is parallel here in the front. I still have myself defended there. There could very well be a riposte from the sword that's left over here, but if all's going well, I've killed the guy. Or lady, doesn't matter. My sword is extended high and outside the bubble for safety, but I am in a pronated grip, which is knuckles up on the thrust, fully extended, and head back and out of the way. Finally, my rear leg is extended with my foot perpendicular to the direction of my thrust. So that is where we've landed. I'm now very tired of holding this position, so I'm going to come back up and return. I'm going to do that one more time, and then you guys are going to have to make do without me until I come back. But I miss you dearly, and let's do that again, shall we? All right. We're here. So, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this twice in a row. Once while counting and saying, or not counting, but saying what we're doing, and then once without. So, advance, thrust to 3. Retreat, defend are 1. Passing step, advance to 3. Passing step, retreat to 2. Thrust to 4. Alright, let's do this again. And this time I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing. So, keep up as best you can. Go nice and slow. Put this in slow motion if you want. I don't know how I look. Alright, here we go. Alright, and let's do it once more with some speed so that it looks a little bit like it might look upon our choreographed fight. Alright, hope that looks good. I'm going to do one more just for the sake of watching it. So once more with some speed. And return. All right, guys, that's all we're going to do for today. I'm going to keep working out a little bit more, I think, but I hope that this has been fun and or enlightening for you. I hope that some folks are watching this. If you are, please let me know in the comments. If you're hating it, let me know in the comments. Let me know how things are with you. I miss you dearly. Let's dismiss for now. Hands out. 1, 2, 3. Not in the face. I miss you guys. Wash your hands. Stay physically distanced, but not socially distanced. And if there's anything in particular you'd like to see me do or teach or anything else, make sure you put it in the comments. Thanks, guys.